Hey guys, welcome to the channel today. I figured I'd do a studio tour since I'm not posting much content on Instagram and it's going to be a pretty damn busy month. A couple of months actually. I have a release August 25th, a little debut with Westwood on their compilation. And then I have a release with Play Records in September. And then October with UFO Records. So I figured I'd kind of let you into my life with a little studio tour. This is me, no filter, dark-eyed and scruffy looking and all. As YouTubers say, let's roll the intro.
COVID-19. Cool. COVID-19.
All right, welcome to the studio today. So, I figured I'd start off in the lounge area, where I play video games, relax, kids hang out. You can see my kids watching a show right now. But, yeah, let's kind of start off with the things in here. Obviously, we got the Sharp television here, or as everyone calls them, TVs. My good old server. Hand sanitizer. Statue of David. There's his dick.
And Avengers.
Yeah, and Avengers. Right, Quentin? Yeah, he's not got much to say. PS4. Fender Strat, which my uncle built me. Definitely don't play as much as I used to. Collecting dust.
In the studio.
Yeah, in the studio. Bass guitar, collecting dust. I know on my tracks I pretty much have hired musicians playing stuff, or either I do scratch tracks, but most of the time it's hired musicians. Moog Sub Fatty. I use this every now and again on tracks. Not as very often. I'm really using a lot of plugins right now, especially the Roland Cloud, which has got all the old school Roland Slim synths in them, and definitely utilizing them in my studio. And it's just I'm just more of a quicker. It's just a quicker workflow, because I mean I got a hybrid setup in the sense of analog and using analog gear and other stuff. So I'm not trying to waste as much time, and I'm going so fast making tracks in the sense of just completing them and getting them done. Let's move on to another synth. Microcork. Use that every now and again, but there's like one setting in there that I use, but it's been a while. I don't know if you could see certificates on the wall from Nimbus from when I went to school. Picture of Hendrix. My bass traps. I built them myself. Some flaws in them, but they work. Panels. All right, like they would say back in the day, this is the control room. Not really a control room, but kind of is the control room. It's where the station's at. It's where the work gets done. But let's kind of go to the wall right here. This is kind of just the wall of dreams, I guess you would call it, where I kind of just write things on pieces of paper, goals. I want to do this. I want to be signed to this label. I want to do this or whatever. I kind of write stuff down, take a look at it a year later, a couple of months, and see if I've done any of the things on there, because it's just a dream and it's up on the wall. And yeah, and shockingly, a lot of things get completed that get put on that wall. Great. It's awesome. I just can't believe it, but I continue to do it, and I haven't updated it for a while. Kind of got people's emails on the wall here. Passes from ADE. I wish that was happening this year, but it's not. Thanks, COVID. I got a calendar here for my releases right here, in the sense of what I want to post on Instagram. Artwork stuff, which a lot of the labels take care of that stuff, but this is mainly kind of when I have my own releases for my label. But I do follow this and kind of change things up and just have everything sorted out, so I don't have to scramble on things to do and get things prepared on release days. It's just going to be a crazy months couple months for me in the sense of going from release to release and constantly going. But, that's just what's happening these days, and it kind of sucks. But whatever. I got my clock up here that's set in Toronto and Amsterdam. Mainly have it set for Toronto because Play Records is the label that I work with mainly right now. And they're just awesome peeps at that label, and I just want to, know what time it is, what I'm going to message someone randomly at the label there. I had this clock set for Amsterdam just because I had someone that I was going to have on my payroll to deal with promotions, but it just didn't work out how I wanted to. Guy's a good guy and stuff, but it's just not what I needed it's just not what I need right now. Let's go into here. This is my booth, which is basically the storage now, because COVID's happening and I just don't want to really bring people in the house to record vocals, so everything's kind of done on the internet, and I'm very sad about it, but it's the way things are. I have a couple of my microphones in there, about 4 different mics, one black hole mic. The company's Jay-Z, so it's a black hole mic. They're kind of clones of Neumann mics. I have an Austin Spirit and this other mic that's a clone of the Telefunken, which is called the CV12 by Avian Tone, I think it is. Hopefully I said that right. Let's go to here. CDJs. Goddamn chair. So, CDJs right here. I use these on my podcast. When COVID wasn't happening, these were bring them on my gigs at the casino at the Atlas. Guess that's not going to happen for a while. So, these are my main monitors, my HS8s by Yamaha. I do like these monitors. Great entry-level speaker. Yeah. I just love the low end, that how they just sound great. Overall, great speaker overall, not too expensive. Then we got the Rocket 8s. I suggest people do not buy this speaker if it's your first pair of studio monitors. I just think they're just cloudy monitors. But then again, that's why you have different monitors to see how mixes translate. But I don't like the sound of those speakers. I just don't like the sound of them. But it was my first pair, and I'm gonna sell them soon enough. The NS10s. Now, every major studio in the world's got them on their desk. Don't know how many studios are going to exist after this. But I like them. The placements of them is not the best because they're too close together. But they're kind of just there for me to check mixes. And yeah, I like them. I remember having them in school, and they just sound awesome. So, if we get into another part of the studio, which is my Raven MTIs. These are great. These are touch screens. A lot of money for them. Kind of a waste of not. I mean, I wanted a control surface, and I was just thinking of things. Okay, well, do I want a control surface on my desk and have it take up room, or something that didn't take up room? And on top of it, the Raven MTI is a versatile device. You have your batch commands where you can kind of load up plugins by just touching one command, and it does multiple things. Especially there's batch commands when you're recording vocals, and in the sense that you can just pull up a playlist right away without even moving your mouse. It basically does it all for you, and it just saves thinking power. You can do more thinking, right, when you're producing. That's the point. Anything that's going to help you excel more, then do it if you can afford it. Yeah. And then I have my Akai MIDI controller. I used to have a big one, but from the sense of what I'm doing, I kind of just I compose a bass line, and then I use either my chord generators, or I have a bunch of MIDI chords that are already pre-programmed in keys, and I kind of just dump them into the baseline areas, and so on and so on. So if we move on, if we start at the top here, got all my analog gear, but yeah, here's all my analog gear. This is called Arsenal Audio, which is now JDK. If you take a look here, let me adjust this. Let's turn this light off. If you actually take a no, I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of hard to see, but this is the serial number on this, believe it or not, is number 1. So this is the first one that they built, and I guess they changed the company to JDK. But this is a company that API owns, and it's a clone of their EQ basically. And I also have another JDK compressor on the bottom. Believe it or not, my friend had owned those two devices, the JDK units, and my lawyer, as of now, who looks over my contracts, actually owned these. So very interesting. I have my Furman power conditioner. Basically, clean audio, no buzzes. Like it, patch bay, messy as hell, but I keep everything patched in there. Just save time, right? I pretty much know what I want to do. I have all the things patched in. I basically have my warm audio 1176s, which are called the WA76, clones of UAD stuff. I switch between that on channel 3 and 4, and my JDK compressor on channel 3 and 4. I don't use my twin track very much. The preamps on it are okay. The compressor's cool on it, but it's just something I don't use, and I figure I should sell it. It's good, but what's the point of having something in your studio if you're not really using it, right? And then let's move below the rack, and we have Stam Audio right here. This is a clone of a G series compressor, SSL. Every single major pop record usually has this compressor on it at the end. I personally do not use it all the time. I use it if a mix needs it. Yeah, I mean, it gets used, but I don't use it all the time. There's just some mixes it just doesn't sound good to me with, and some it does. Then under it, we got the JDK, which is a API clone. This gets used on 3 and 4, as I'm repeating myself over and over again. I like it. Tone Beast. I don't use this anymore as much, and I probably should sell it. I mean, I use it for hooking up my synthesizer. It's a great for DI, but I mean, my Apollo X8 does a lot of heavy lifting in the sense for preamps now, and I like it a lot. I utilize UAD stuff so much. They're awesome. Then we got under here. There you go. Those are my Pultecs. They're obviously by Warm Audio. The EQP WA. I use this on channel 1 and 2. There's my little goer humming around. So I use those on channels 1 and 2, and just warms up the low end. So everything on channel 1 and 2 is basically low end stuff. Kick, bass, clap. Well, clap's not really low end, but anything that's mono. But it just does something to the mix. It's just, they're awesome. Then under here, we got the two devices there, right? As you see, that was there is the Yamaha SPX90 and the Roland SRV 2000. I don't use those units anymore, barely. I used to use them on like vocals or synths, but I mean, the plugins are just way faster, and I just don't want to kind of deal with that stuff. It just doesn't work for me anymore. But in the sense of, you know, how I have stuff on inserts, that's just kind of how I like doing it, because it just, analog gear just does something. Just I don't know. I don't have the perfect answer for you guys, but I just kind of do trial and error is the way I do things with audio, and making tracks that are good enough that labels are signing, and that's kind of the point, right? But last but not least, let's go to the one piece of the studio that I love the most, and it is you saw it, the Solid State Logic, the Sound Vision. It's basically my summing mixer. I don't think I'll ever take summing out of my studio. I mean, you're able to push channels so much with a summing mixer. You know, to get that harmonic distortion. I mean, I watch everything on my interface, my UD interface, and just the channels distort, but you know, they come back clean and sounding good. But you know, they're having a certain little harmonic distortion in the channels, and you could just push things a lot more. And you know, as soon as you take all the channels out and basically go into one stereo track in Pro Tools, everything goes to crap, in the sense that you can be basically putting channels up a lot more. There's more headroom. You basically have more headroom for your mix. You can push a channel all the way up to the top in Pro Tools, in the sense, and not even clip the channel on your summing mixer, right? So it helps to get things louder, because you're punching the top of the channel and distorting it a bit, but doing it in a tasteful way. But one more piece of gear, and I guess I'll end my tour here. That obviously is the Apollo 8, and I have a lot of different Unison plugins in there, in the sense of SSL preamps, Neve, all the big name preamps and compressors. I don't use a lot of the analog EQs in there. I'm using a lot more of the Fab Filter stuff. That, like, I'm so attached with Fab Filters and what you can do with it, and how versatile that plugin is. But that's another video in general, I guess. But that wraps it up for my tour. Thanks for watching. Make sure to stay up to date with all my Instagram, and follow me on Spotify and all that stuff. The links to all that will be below in the description of this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed the tour. Bye-bye. See you on the next one.